Michael Jackson, often referred to as the King of Pop, was a global icon whose music, dance, and persona shaped the world of entertainment for decades. From his early days as a child prodigy in the Jackson 5 to his monumental solo career, Jackson left an indelible mark on popular culture. However, his life was not without controversy. Allegations of child abuse and legal battles cast a shadow over his legacy, leaving fans and critics divided to this day. This narrative explores his journey, achievements, and the complexities surrounding his later years. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, to Catherine and Joseph Jackson. He was the eighth of 10 children in a working-class African-American family. His father, Joe Jackson, was known for being a strict disciplinarian who recognized the musical talent in his children early on. He formed the Jackson 5, consisting of Michael and his older brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon. Michael quickly stood out as the lead vocalist, capturing audiences with his distinct voice and charismatic stage presence. By the age of 11, Michael and his brothers had signed with Motown Records, where they released hits like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There. These songs topped the charts and made the Jackson 5 one of the most popular groups of the era. In the early 1970s, Michael began exploring solo projects, while still performing with the Jackson 5. His first solo albums, Got to Be There, 1972, and Ben, 1972, showcased his evolving talent. However, it was his collaboration with producer Quincy Jones that catapulted him into superstardom. In 1979, Jackson released Off the Wall, blending pop, funk, and soul to create a fresh sound that resonated worldwide. The album produced hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, earning him critical and commercial success. Yet, this was only the beginning. His next album, Thriller, 1982, became the best-selling album of all time, with over 66 million copies sold globally. Tracks like Billie Jean, Beat It, and the iconic title track Thriller revolutionized music videos and broke racial barriers on platforms like MTV. The Thriller music video, with its elaborate choreography and horror-inspired theme, became a cultural phenomenon. Jackson's influence extended beyond music. His signature dance moves, such as the moonwalk, captivated audiences and became integral to his identity. His style, characterized by sequined gloves, military jackets, and fedora hats, set fashion trends around the world. Throughout the 1980s, Jackson continued to dominate the music industry. His 1987 album, Bad, produced 5 number-1 singles, including Man in the Mirror and Smooth Criminal. The accompanying world tour broke records, and Jackson's star continued to rise. Beyond his musical achievements, Jackson was also known for his humanitarian work. He supported numerous charities and used his platform to advocate for social issues. His song We Are the World, co-written with Lionel Richie in 1985, raised millions for famine relief in Africa. However, as his fame grew, so did public fascination with his personal life. Jackson's changing appearance, marked by lighter skin, altered facial features, and an increasingly eccentric lifestyle, sparked endless media speculation. Jackson attributed his lighter skin to vitiligo, a condition that causes depigmentation, but rumors of skin bleaching persisted. His Neverland Ranch, a sprawling estate complete with amusement park rides and a zoo, became symbolic of his childlike persona. Jackson often surrounded himself with children, claiming he related better to them due to his lost childhood, a consequence of early fame and a strict upbringing. In 1993, Michael Jackson's carefully curated public image faced its first major challenge. Jordan Chandler, a 13-year-old boy, accused Jackson of child sexual abuse. The allegations were shocking and led to a highly publicized investigation. Jackson denied all wrongdoing, asserting that he loved children in an innocent and nurturing way. As the investigation unfolded, law enforcement conducted searches of Neverland Ranch, and Jackson underwent a humiliating strip search. However, no physical evidence corroborated the allegations. Despite this, Jackson faced immense media scrutiny and public backlash. In 1994, Jackson settled the civil case with the Chandler family for a reported $23 million. The settlement was not an admission of guilt, but many speculated that Jackson paid to avoid further legal battles. The criminal case was subsequently dropped when the Chandlers refused to testify. Jackson claimed the settlement was made to protect his health and avoid the stress of prolonged litigation. The allegations deeply affected Jackson, both emotionally and professionally. He became more reclusive, and his public appearances became less frequent. His next album, History, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1, 1995, reflected his growing paranoia and frustration with the media. Songs like Scream and They Don't Care About Us highlighted his feelings of betrayal and isolation. Despite the 1993 allegations, Jackson continued to maintain close relationships with children, often inviting them to Neverland. In 2003, a new documentary, Living with Michael Jackson, aired, featuring British journalist Martin Bashir. The documentary showed Jackson holding hands with a young boy, Gavin Arvizo, and discussing his practice of sharing his bed with children. Jackson's comments sparked outrage, and soon after, Gavin Arvizo accused Jackson of molestation. This time, Jackson faced criminal charges. In 2005, he was tried in Santa Maria, California, in a case that captivated the world. The trial, known as The People versus Michael Jackson, included testimony from Arvizo, his family, and other witnesses. Jackson's defense argued that the allegations were part of an elaborate extortion scheme. After a highly publicized trial lasting over 4 months, Jackson was acquitted on all counts. The verdict was met with mixed reactions. His fans celebrated his innocence, while others believed he had escaped justice due to his wealth and fame. The trial, however, had a lasting impact on Jackson's reputation. Even though he was found not guilty, the stigma of the allegations lingered. Following his acquittal, Jackson largely withdrew from public life. He moved to Bahrain for a period, seeking refuge from the media storm. Financial difficulties also plagued him, as extravagant spending and legal costs drained his fortune. By the late 2000s, Jackson faced mounting debt, forcing him to consider a comeback. In 2009, Jackson announced This Is It, a series of 50 comeback concerts in London's O2 Arena. The shows were highly anticipated, and tickets sold out within hours. Jackson began rigorous rehearsals, aiming to reclaim his status as the world's greatest entertainer. However, on June 25, 2009, just weeks before the tour's start, Michael Jackson died at the age of 50. The cause of death was acute propofol intoxication, administered by his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. Jackson's death was ruled a homicide, and Dr. Murray was later convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Jackson's sudden death shocked the world, triggering an outpouring of grief from fans and fellow artists. Memorials were held globally, and his music saw a resurgence in popularity. His funeral, held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, was attended by celebrities, dignitaries, and millions of fans who watched the broadcast worldwide. Even in death, controversy continued to follow Michael Jackson. His estate managed to revive his brand, releasing posthumous albums like Michael, 2010, and Escape, 2014, and licensing his image for various projects, including Cirque du Soleil shows. Financially, his estate flourished, making Jackson one of the highest-earning deceased celebrities. However, in 2019, the release of the documentary Leaving Neverland reignited debates about Jackson's legacy. Directed by Dan Reed, the film featured detailed allegations from Wade Robson and James Safechuck, two men who claimed they were abused by Jackson as children. The documentary's graphic and emotional content shocked many viewers, leading to renewed calls to boycott Jackson's music and question his legacy. The Jackson estate vehemently denied the allegations, calling the documentary a public lynching and filing lawsuits against HBO for airing it. Fans remained divided. Some believed the accusers, while others saw the film as an attempt to tarnish Jackson's name for financial gain. Michael Jackson remains one of the most influential figures in music history. His contributions to pop culture, music, and dance are undeniable. He broke racial barriers, revolutionized the music video industry, and set new standards for live performances. Yet, his legacy is inextricably linked to the allegations of child abuse that followed him throughout his life and after his death. While he was acquitted in court, the question of his guilt or innocence remains a topic of heated debate. For many, Jackson is a tragic figure, a man whose immense talent was overshadowed by personal demons and public scrutiny. Others see him as a victim of false accusations and media sensationalism, whose generosity and artistry should not be forgotten. Regardless of one's perspective, Michael Jackson's impact on the world is undeniable. His music continues to inspire new generations, and his story serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of fame, genius, and human fallibility.